previous guest, Professor Parry, frightened us with startling statistics of what could happen to us all. And our next guest, Franny Armstrong, is determined, I think, to make us change our ways, and is doing it through the medium of an incredible film called The Age of Stupid, which you may know about already, and if you don't, you're certainly going to find out about it quite soon. I'll ask a little bit about the film, because we need to explain it maybe just for people who haven't seen it, but I'm just trying to describe it. It's basically a documentary, but there is a character in it who is fictional, played by a British actor, Pete Postlethwaite. And he's living in 2055, looking back on the world of 2008 and thinking, why didn't they stop climate change when they had the chance? We might say, when they had the chance at Poznan, but... And the film itself is very witty. It's very intelligent. It tackles the issue head on, and it's interesting. I think not just because it's such an unusual approach to a serious problem, but also because of the way you're trying to market it, which is quite unusual. So, Franny Armstrong, I don't know which to ask you about first. Maybe you could just fill us in a little bit about the film.
Well, you summed it up very well, if I may say so. Basically, like you say, it's a 90-minute feature doc. It's going to be coming out in the cinemas in the UK March next year, and then the rest of the world all over next year, 2009. Basically, it's the British inconvenient truth, but bigger.
Well, it's nice to know Britain is first at something. And when did you personally first become aware of the issue? Because you've made films. You made McLibel about there's a famous court case in which two people took McDonald's to court, and the other way round. Sorry, yes, McDonald's took them to court. It was an incredible long action. So how did you fix on this? When did you first get interested in it, or become aware that it was worth a major amount of your life?
Well, we learned about it in school. I mean, it must be the 80s or something, and I kind of think that's the point, that scientists knew then, back in the 80s, what a serious problem it was, and here we are in 2008, have done absolutely nothing about it. We, the world, have done nothing about it, and that's why it's now such a complete crisis, because we didn't act for 30 years.
And have you changed your views at all since you embarked on this project?
Basically, no. Well, I mean, once an obsessive eco-type, always an obsessive eco-type, really. No, I haven't developed as a human being whatsoever, no.
Okay, let's talk about the marketing, because if you haven't seen the film, you can't see it now, but take my word for it, it's worth going to have a look at and making up your own mind. What is unusual about the way you're marketing it?
Well, basically, the film I made before, McLibel, which you mentioned, I made accidentally, independently, because no TV company would give me the money to make the film because they'd all been sued by McDonald's in the past. So I had to make it independently, and just made it on credit cards and Rich Boyfriend and things like that. And so that meant that when I got to the end of that film, I happened to own all the rights. And I realised over the next kind of 5 years of distributing that film that you have to own the rights. You have to stay independent, because then you control the distribution and you can get the film out much further than if it belongs to the BBC, because they make all the decisions. And with that film, in the end, we actually managed to get 25 million viewers around the world, which is a hell of a lot of people. And that's our aim, the most number of people. That's our aim, not making money. And so with this film, with that film, there was just a kind of tiny team, like kind of 2 of us or 3 of us, But this one has got hundreds of people behind it, and all of the big environmental charities are behind us now. So we're going to aim for 10 times the viewers that we got with McLibel, which would be 250 million people, which sounds ridiculous, but it's the end of the world, so you may as well try. And so then the question obviously becomes, 250 million people, what do you tell them to do? Because hopefully if the film works, then they're all angry and passionate and they want to do something. So then it's about how do you take those viewers and turn them into climate activists, and a lot of people have been working on that. How to best turn a film, inspire people into action from a film, basically. And so we're launching this campaign. It's called Not Stupid. And it's going to be run in collaboration with all the big environmental charities, and we're basically going to try and get those 250 million people and focus them all on Copenhagen, which, as you know, is really the last chance for humanity. Either we make an international deal that works and that's as strong as the science says it needs to be, or we condemn ourselves to a horrific future, basically. So that's what we're going to try and do.
Okay, but that's a lot of people. So how are they going? It will be screened in cinemas. You hope, if you can fix the deals. But what you're talking about is something much wider than that. Getting environmental groups and all sorts of other groups to show it themselves, perhaps, or to pass the video. Will there be video parties, or I don't know, but.
Well, you have to do all of the things. You start with cinema, and then obviously TV is the big one. I mean, you can get 3 million, 5 million viewers in a single hit on TV, so that's a really, really important. And you have to do it carefully because the TV won't buy it, and they only buy it in certain circumstances, stuff like that. So it's all complicated stuff. But then the key thing we're going to do, which as far as we know is, I don't know about never been done, but almost never been done, is we're going to have this special system on our website. We're going to call it Indie Screenings, where anybody in the world can buy a license to hold a screening of our film and charge for tickets. In other words, they can make money from it. So it's obviously we want people to do it because of climate change and spreading the word and all that. But anyway, they can do it just to make money for themselves or to raise money for their campaign or whatever. So that system will be going live kind of April, May-ish next year. And hopefully that's going to be another massive way that it's going to be screened all over the place. And then, of course, internet downloads, DVD, on and all the ways it can be shown. We're going to be showing it.
And have you had a good response from, say, environmental groups or indeed other campaign organisations? Have they been willing to take it up, or are they trying to bargain with you, or what's the situation with them?
I've never known anything like it, to be honest. I'm fighting them off. This must be what it's like to be a pop star. I mean, in terms of everybody wanting a piece of you and wanting to be connected to it. So, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. We couldn't ask for more. And everybody just wants the bloody film to come out, but we're waiting till next March for, we have to be tactical and strategic about it. But as soon as it comes out, then thank God everybody can just go for it. I mean, we've had lots of test screenings, obviously, and I mean, I've made films before, like McLibel was very popular, but I've never seen anything like this, like the whole cinema crying, people having mental breakdowns. But all of them saying the same thing, which is, what can I do about climate change? So it's exactly the response we wanted. And
you're just to be clear about this, if that's the response as you leave the cinema, thinking, what can I do about it? That's something you're interested in. You're not just a filmmaker who's made a film and, well, that's up to people what they do. You actually want to motivate them to do something and to help them to find out what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from a filmmaking point of view, I'd much rather be making a movie about, love or war or something like that. But in the current climate, climate change is the only thing that matters really now. So as a filmmaker, there's no other subject.
Okay, we've got the dollar question here. This is Second Life, OneClimate in Second Life at Poznan at the International Climate Change Negotiations. Franny Armstrong, the director of Age of Stupid. And we have a question for you. Mm-hmm. How do we hold a screening, and will it cost us US dollars?
The answer is there's going to be a very simple system up on our website which will explain all about how to hold a screening next year, kind of March, April. The easiest thing to do is sign up to our mailing list today. Hopefully we can get a link from wherever we are to our mailing list, but it's ageofstupid.net. If you sign up to the mailing list, then you'll hear when the system's online and when it's time. The answer is yes, you pay us a small license fee, which will be graded according to who you are. Obviously, a multinational corporation will have to pay a hell of a lot more than a small climate change campaign group. And then you can hold your screening, charge for tickets, get that feedback, and make more money on top. So I think it's a system that works for everybody. I mean, I might say about how we funded the film, because we wanted to stay independent, but we also needed a really big budget because it's a very ambitious film. We came up with a system that we call crowdfunding, which is essentially investors, individuals and groups, buying shares in the film, and we've got 228 investors, I think, and they gave between £500 and £35,000, and they each all own a percentage of the film, so they will get a share of the profit. But it does mean we've got basically a £500,000 debt to pay off. So